Hello guys, Cameron here from Inventor. Now welcome back to the next video in the Inventor and Get the Moving Pictures review series. Now, we are going to be reviewing a film by the name of Overlord. Now that's the film we're going to be reviewing and talking about today. If you've not seen it, then I would advise that you check it out before watching this review. There may be some spoilers in this review. I'll try my best to make it spoiler free, but you have been warned that there might be some spoilers throughout this review. Now, the film is a horror film. It is gory at times and it does have some scenes of violence at times, but it is overall an enjoyable film. Now, you'll find out more about why it's enjoyable and you'll find out more about my overall thoughts on the film as we get into this review, but without further delay, let's just jump straight into this review. I'm now going to give a brief summary of what happens during the film. Now, if you haven't seen the film yet and you want to keep your viewing of the film spoiler free, then please click off this video now. I'll try my best to keep it spoiler free, but I cannot promise that I can do that. So let's just continue with the brief summary. Now, the film takes place during World War II, and it takes place a little bit of time before D-Day, just before they storm the beaches. Now, Allied troops are being parachuted into Nazi-occupied France. Their target is a radio tower that they need to take out to allow Allied forces to make an effective and an efficient attack during storming the beaches. Now, once the Allied paratroopers land, they make their way to the Nazi-occupied village where the radio tower is stationed. Now, their mission is to destroy the radio tower. So, what happens is, as they get closer to the Nazi-occupied village, they're walking through forests that do have Nazi soldiers in the forests. So as they make their way to the Nazi-occupied village, they realise that the village and the radio tower itself is highly fortified. So what they end up doing is they end up hiding out in the Nazi-occupied village. One of their team members does manage to get into the church where the radio tower is located. When he sets foot inside of the church where the radio tower is, he discovers that inhumane experiments are being done in a Nazi lab within the church where the radio tower is stationed. And as he makes that discovery, the mission that the Allied Forces team has ends up changing a little bit. They end up wanting to destroy the Nazi lab and they want to destroy the radio tower as well. But as time gets on, they soon realise that not everything is what it seems, and that there's more to this than they first initially knew. And in saying that, that is where I'm going to leave the brief summary. If you want to find out more about what happens in the film and you've not seen the film just yet, then by all means go and watch the film, just so you understand the entire story and you get to see everything for what it is in the film. So now we will be moving on to the good bits about the film. On the topic of good bits about the film, I would say the main good things about the film is that there is a lot of action in this film. That is one of the good points. It keeps you watching, it keeps you wanting to see what happens, and it does really pull you into the film, pull you into the setting, pull you into the time period. Overall, like, the action is really enjoyable. Now, as I said, it is a horror, so the setting and the scene for the horror aspect of the film is really well done. There is a few jump scares here and there within the film, and there is really gory scenes and some violent scenes that really, strike you as surprising, and it really kind of helps show the brutality of what's going on and the inhumane acts that happen when they stumble across the Nazi lab within the church. It's really enjoyable, the action aspect of it, and the horror and gore aspect of it is really enjoyable, and so is, in a sense, the violent aspects of the film. It all fits together, which makes an enjoyable film. Yes, there's some moments when you're sitting there and you're like, Jesus Christ, and you're like, oh my, it's like, it just, some of the things you see in this film, it does surprise you, and it does make you like, wow, like, seriously, is this, happening? And it's really immersive, the film, it's really enjoyable, and it really kind of draws you in and pulls you in to watch this film, to sit down throughout the film, enjoy it and watch it. Now, going off from the good bits about the film, personally, I wouldn't say there is any bad bits about the film. The film was overall enjoyable for me. Maybe at times it may have been slow at points, which you do sometimes get that in films, but that just because there's slow parts in films does not mean it's not enjoyable, does not mean it's a bad film. There is certain aspects and certain kind of arcs in the story that I would have loved to see more of, because you see the inhumane experiments where they're playing with life and they're playing with death and they're trying to reanimate, zombies basically. I would have loved to see more of the kind of zombie aspect of things, Don't get me wrong, what was in it was good, but I would have loved to see more of an arc when it kind of involves more of these zombie, soldiers and these zombie, animalistic, creatures. And it's just a shame that we never really got to see a lot more of that aspect and of that arc of the film, because I think that would have made it a little bit more kind of gripping and a lot more interesting and fun, and a lot more enjoyable as well, because we did, like in the trailer for the film, you do see that there's experiments happening and there's that horror aspect and that things aren't really as it seems, and in the trailer you also see that there's these zombie-like creatures, which I wish we got to see more of that and got to see more of an arc kind of involving that, where you get so many of them outnumbering the soldiers, and they're fighting. Unfortunately, we never really got to see quite a lot of the, those zombie type creatures, those animalistic creatures, because I think it would have been more interesting if we got to see more of them, We did get to see some, but we didn't get to see a lot of it, which was, I would say, one of the bad points about the film. Because personally I would have liked to see it played on a lot more, that they would have utilised it maybe a little bit better. Now, obviously, there might be deleted scenes where they do utilise the kind of creatures and the experiments a lot more. But obviously we won't know until they release it to DVD and they've got the director's cut and then they've got, bloopers and, stuff that's been left on the cutting room floor. Because I do understand that there's only so much you can have in a film for running a certain amount of time, and there are some decisions that have to be made that throw good scenes, interesting scenes on the cutting room floor, but those decisions have to be made. But yeah, I would say that the bad bit, as I've said already, would be that we never got to see more of the zombie-like creatures. And I don't know if that's the same for other people that have seen the film, but that's how I kind of personally feel. That I would have loved to see it played on more, and that it, would have been explained a little bit more, or we would have gotten to see more of it. And it's a shame that we didn't get to see much of it. We did get, some scenes and, some acts where it does talk more about these experiments and more about these creatures, but I wish we just got to see a lot more of these creatures. In saying that, I want to move on to my overall thoughts on the film. Is the film good? Yes. Is the film worth watching? Yes. Because I would say if you either watch it in cinema or if you watch it on DVD, I would say it is worth a watch. I did enjoy watching it in the cinema, the surround sound, the big screen, it was really immersive and it really helped draw me into the film. Would I get it on DVD? That is a question. Yes, I would get it on DVD so I could watch it again, so I could enjoy that experience again. Do I hope that they bring out a sequel or bring out, another part to this film? Yes, I would love to see another part to this film. I would love to see a sequel where they maybe, where they expand on what's been going on, or maybe we find out that it wasn't just happening in that in that Nazi-occupied French village, maybe that has been happening elsewhere or something like that, where they kind of expand on the story and they expand on the arc and they expand on, on everything that's been happening, just so we kind of get a sequel, get more of the zombie-like creatures, and so we get to see kind of where the characters are now and kind of how they've developed since maybe fighting more of the war and since witnessing what they've witnessed, in that Nazi-occupied village where there's the labs and where there's that radio tower. But as I draw this video to an end, as I've said, it is definitely worth a watch. If you've not seen the film yet, then I would definitely advise watching it, because it is a good watch, it is entertaining, it draws you in, and it's enjoyable. And, if maybe you just want to wait till it comes out on DVD to watch it, then by all means, buy it on DVD. Watch the film on DVD, because it is an enjoyable film, it is an enjoyable experience, it's immersive, and it is a good film. If you like what you see on this channel, then by all means feel free to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and even comment. If you've seen the film already, comment, let me hear your opinion on the film. If you've not seen it yet, then comment and tell me you've not seen it yet, and tell me if you're looking forward to the film or not, Feel free to comment, and if you want other people to find out about this review or hear this review, then by all means, share this video on your social media. And if you want to keep up to date with what happens on this channel and what happens on our other channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter to get all updates, and to be made aware of whenever we upload a new video on any of the channels. And until the next time, signing out, goodbye.